Dakle, kao što ste čuli od
So as you've heard from Theodora, the next panel is about the application of marketing in agriculture. So we did not believe that marketing in agriculture have such a connection, but a good side of online purchase shows that without marketing and branding, we cannot survive. So the saying, you can take everything from me, but don't touch memes, I think has a good sense in these times. So the significance of marketing and branding is important. We're going to hear that from our panelists. We will hear whether they need some experts and what Made in Serbia means in the global market. Whether the geographic origin protection means a lot. We are going to speak about that with the experts in the field of marketing and agriculture. And as you've heard from Theodora, we have here with me Miloš Stojanović, Agrocast, Ivan Stojanović, web advisor, then Sava Pavlović, the founder of Farm IT, and Goran Đaković from AgroPress. Just briefly to introduce you, Mr. Miloš Stojanović, as I said, is a representative of Agrocast, and for you who haven't followed them, they have a YouTube channel dealing with an interesting stories about that, to do that. Ivan Stojanović is a web advisor who knows very well the social networks, applications, and all agriculture applications and platforms, and he's going to speak about that and branding. Sava Pavlović is one of the farmers, Farmit, and the other is his colleague from the faculty. And this is the platform aimed at strengthening small farmers and help them in the online sale. And I don't know if Mr. Đaković is necessary to be introduced. I think the majority of you know him very well. AgroPress is well known, and he follows all the activities in the agriculture. So, thank you for being with us today. What I would like to ask you, Mr. Stojanović, do our farmers understand the significance of marketing? And thank you for invitation, and thank you for being here. First, I would like to stress that I'm a farmer as well, and I, in a way, understood the role of marketing. But before marketing, I would like to stress the importance of education. And we have to understand that as agriculture farmers, we have to understand how it is important. Now we have the generation that is educated to remain in the village, which is different completely to what we were told in the past, to study and learn, not to remain in the village. So there are people who graduated from faculty, but they decided to stay in the farm, and I would say that they are missing nothing with that. So I think that people understand more and more the role of marketing and how they can use the marketing and the importance of the social networks. So everyone understands the concept of marketing and how it contributes to the recognition of their products in the market. And I think that slowly and gradually they understand the importance of marketing, and the times of marketing will come. Mr. Stojanović, do you agree that raising of awareness and associating of the members of the society to understand more marketing? Thank you very much for your invitation. This is my first attendance after this session at Agro Belgrade, so I believe that it will become a tradition in the future. What I would like to add, specifically based on my experience, I can say that my colleagues are my dear friends, and we share our knowledge. But in the digital world, in the modern time, it is almost impossible to neglect the digitization and the application of marketing. And what everything that my colleague mentioned is true. And in order to raise awareness in one household about the importance of the application of marketing in their operation, it is necessary to have a readiness and willingness for that. So very often people just, it's difficult for them to leave their comfort zone, and which was established for a generation, and even at the price of contribution of their product, and it is financially sustainable until the moment that it is not self-sustainable. So something meaning the product cannot be profitable until you support it. When it comes to the local communities, I would apply that in local communities. I come from the other sphere. I don't know if that model exists there, but imagine that you have a system of association of producers within one local community. At first, it sounds like something that would impose some kind of competition, which was in a way good. But if there was a common or joint portal where they can present their foodstuff, their products, how from the very start, from the planting to till the end, maybe it will attract the attention of the consumers. Maybe that will have the impact on the agricultural or farming tourism. Maybe some people would be attracted to go to such farms and be part of the normal life of that farm, taking part into the production of some traditional products. The association and the offer at one place, one-stop shops in a way, was that something that had the impact on you? Yeah, I agree with Milos and Ivan, but I think that marketing is very important in the operation of farmers. But it is only one of the aspects. So system is the key thing in the sale. One thing is telling the story, promoting your household, and it can become very popular in the social networks. And the other thing is to work continuously. And what we advocate for is to offer our expertise as someone who deals with the sale, marketing and business, and make possible for the producers to focus on their job, which is a good quality work, and that we do the marketing and sale for them. The key thing is association. So through Farmit, we want to become a place that connects and associates small farmers, small producers, helping them to reach a larger audience and to place their products in a more efficient way. Mr. Jakovic, we started with raising awareness with online sale, but however, our producers are traditional in a way. So these new types of sale through platforms and online websites bring certain novelties for them, different types of payment. Do our farmers believe this type of sale, and how much we can do to improve it? First of all, our farmers do not believe anything, they even do not trust themselves, which is a huge problem. Why is that a problem? Because first of all, we have to take care of how we behave, and it seems to me that PR is more important than marketing. Majority of people know that I did PR for two ministers. And 2 days ago, there was a research who were the best ministers, and it turned out that the two ones that I worked for were them. That was the marketing done by themselves and by us. Why their marketing was best? Because they thought that they were not the gods on the earth. For example, Petrovic did not want to sit behind. I was the one who said that. So, for example, usually they open the door for me first instead of to a minister, and then when they see me, they started laughing. Well, I don't know why. Sometimes he sits, the minister sits in front. It happened, for example, in front of this building, of this facility, and people did not recognize him. So let's get back to the topic about payment. It's difficult for them to understand. For example, we have one situation. A professor's mom could not understand that the fee was not paid because whenever she takes the money via ATP, she thought that it was a cheat and so on. And now the things changes. So I don't know about you, but whenever I have to type the account number and to it's a problem. So it's always good when I can scan it. I never make a mistake in typing the figures. But the education is necessary. No one invests into that. Well, a farmer can be anyone. You need to have 50 acres and to go to the public notary. And, well, 30 if you have a greenhouse and 50 without it. But if you do not pass the test, you can buy the protective means. So if you look at the Department for Agricultural Payments, well, if you ask them where they come from, if they are from Shabatz, then you know who was their boss. For example, if it is Sremska Mitrovica, then it is Branislav Nedimovic. If it is Subotica, then it is Ivan Adulic many years ago. If it is Čačak, it was Snežana Bukosavljević-Bošković, and I would like that she never became a minister. Well, I think that Goran works on their branding and rebranding, and we will continue about that. So how important it is to create a brand, to have an image, and what is brand creation and how brand can help you in the sale. I would refer to marketing. Marketing is not only the sale of products and how much you can sell, but it is also a perception of farmers in the society. I think that you have to work a lot how our society sees the farmers, about their different stereotypes. I think that the young people have to present themselves, and we try to present such stories in our podcast. Marko Kovačević was one of our guests, and I believe that people very often, because of such a perception of farmers, just do not want to say their opinion in the public because they don't want to be targeted by the audience. So one of the easiest way to create the brand is through social networks. To present your production process, to have a good branding and your website. And I think that a small household doesn't need a website, but in a sense, to have a better visual identity in the internet, it would be good to have it. It is even. Please add to this. Your colleague said that it is the most easiest way to do it through social networks. We know that the average household is a small household. So do they need to have a website? What's your recommendation? I would agree to a large extent with my colleague. Well, it depends on the need. Depends what are the needs of that grower, that producer. It can be applied in any kind of industry, not only agriculture. If someone wants to sell products, to have some static information, doesn't want to invest much in marketing, doesn't want to go outside of what he needs at the moment to reach a higher level. Well, I have friends who grow raspberries and blueberries close to Bruce. And I asked them what was the primary issue that they faced in the entire process from the very start till the end. And the answer was everything. It was the problem. Well, they are experts in their production. I'm not going into that. And I also want to mention that their entire sale is based on social networks. My impression is that the social networks are oversaturated with such information. So if you have 50 growers of raspberries and they put the photos in the same way, how are you going to identify the one? So it has to be raised to a higher level to show you have to present yourself in such a way that you are seriously involved into that. And the next level is to create your website. And then first, because it's cheaper and it's more efficient and simpler, you create a website or profile on the... So first the profile and then the website, which is wrong, because website have to be a serious mirror of the seriousness of that company. So if you go to a website, you can see the clear information. When I see that is something, put that. And then the profile on the social networks is not necessary. And now we can, of course, speak about the way of selling. It can be more accessible through the social networks. I don't know if Mr. Djakovic would agree with you. I think that he prefers the social networks. If I was asked about the social networks, I would say I have only Facebook profile, but there are so many social networks, I cannot even name them. But Mr. Djakovic's opinion is that live streams are important. He says that's great, you can contact with the potential customers. How does that operate? Well, it is good to have a website, but no one will go to there. You do not have much money to advertise the websites, but there are social networks where you're going to share your links, interesting news, and in that way you can lead the customers to your website. The point is to lead that person to the website. But how? You do that through the social network. I'm surprised how Blitz daily newspaper attract me and lead me to go to their website, for example. The title is, the lemonade, it was so good. And then it attracts me and I go to the website to just write something, I don't know, attractive title. It doesn't mean that you have you don't have to create some banal story.
Znate, ne sme to da se radi, ali napravite nešto zanimljivo. Ili,
You have to create something interesting. So whenever you mention price, everyone is shocked. So for me, the first search, the first hit was when the title was 1 million price was invested, dollars was invested into some purchase. And I asked, well, I went there, and I was really great. But the comments were, it is some ruling party members. But this farm is owned by 4 generations. I mean, it was started before 4 generations. They have a great investment. They have more than million hits. There were also great comments. Does it mean that every mentioning of commercials or advertising is negative? Well, it's important to speak about that, no matter whether it is positive or negative. Yeah, but you have to return the term shame into our reality. As our famous actress Milena Dravić said in one movie, what's happening here? And the answer was the knowledge and the ownership, meaning the household, the farm. And she said, yes, we have the knowledge, but I'm not sure about the farm. So we have to create it in a proper way. Mr. Pavlović, what channels help you in marketing? Social networks for sure, and various social networks. LinkedIn, for example, is one of the networks that 97% of farmers haven't heard about it and don't use it. Why? Because the dimension that we're looking at is the end user, and in my opinion, it's a huge problem for growers, for producers. For example, they have a very good Raspberry and probably good website, but in my opinion, it's to understand that the end user wants not only a Raspberry, but also the BlackBerry, Apple, and that everything is packed and supplied in a good way, so it fits the dynamic way of life. So you have to meet the needs of customers on the one side, and the awareness of the farmers about offering something in an efficient way. Yes, we realize that there is a gap in identifying the need of end users by the households. Their perception is completely different. It happened to us, for example, because we have the weekly supplies. So the end users, for example, get the tomato which is half rotten, and we get a negative comment from the customer, and we share that with the farmer, and he said, well, it's a good product, but you have to remove this rotten part. We cannot say that to the customer. Well, the customer says, okay, that's great, I would not buy that tomato because it's rotten. But the key thing is that everyone has to perform according to his/her expertise, meaning the farmers have to do the production, to produce, and we will help with the price and marketing and sale and attracting of a wider audience. What are the market challenges that our farmers face today? We've heard the example of one way of thinking. What's the problem? Finalization, packaging, visual identity, how to reach the shelf in a store? Well, it depends. I approach every client in the way that suits him. I have a strategy how to approach him, but a key in understanding a very client, for example, it is a farmer or a grower, so the key is what he wants to achieve with that product. For example, this one produces raspberry, but is there anything else that he can offer? He invested everything in raspberry, comes to this, for example, fair, and did the leaflets, social marketing, website, and then he put also aside the strawberries and other product. But a potential customer will come asking for something else, not only raspberry, and then the producer will be completely unprepared. So we first ask him, what do you want to put as your core product? Okay, raspberry, focus on that. If I have all other products which are of the same importance, we have to focus on them. And then we come to the point what he wants to do, what money he wants to invest, how much time he wants to invest. Is he ready for investing his own time, or just to leave that to someone else to deal with that? So those are really numerous questions, and we can talk about that for days. But we have first to understand his needs, and as my colleague mentioned, whether he has a goodwill to sit and talk about that. He doesn't have to understand the entire process of presentation. We need to get the feedback from him. So if I have to present a product to himself and I meet him, and if I have only once and I have to chase him for 3 weeks, well, it's not a communication. It's important when I need material, videos, photographs, feedback, that I can get that from him. So if he enters this process with his free will, he will soon see the benefits, but it takes time to implement, and we need time to invest into this.
Miloše, da li imate
Miloš, do you have some positive examples of people who have already implemented these tactics and are now very successful in marketing? I would mention our colleague Srđan, who has a pig farm, about 800 cattle. Pigs. These are huge quantities, and you always have to book the meat if you want to buy something from him, prosciutto or other things. He has 3 children, and his wife is also involved in promotion, in marketing period. They always make some video clips or interesting recipes. So he showcases 20 to 30% of products, but the rest is the whole story about their households and pig farms, how they do it, what they do, etc. So I think that he generally very well understood the whole concept of marketing, how to support the whole family. We only have to follow the world trends. For example, in America, it's very popular that influencers, some very famous influencers, advertise some other companies through them. They help them marketing or creating some visual identity. This is what these techniques are something that attract buyers, you also have to retain, not only to gain the confidence of buyer, but just to keep the buyers, so that the buyer knows that any moment he will get a quality, and it's not only one-time purchase. Speaking about branding or marketing, can the label of geographical origin help? Because the farmers were skeptical when we started talking about the origin and destinations, but then they realized that it's a process, but they didn't know what they will get at the end, in the long run. Of course, it's very beneficial. We can remember the example of famous Prosecco. Because after some marketing video clip, Italy earned 3 billion euros of Prosecco because it was advertised in a good way that whoever goes to some bar, restaurant, they drink Prosecco, they display it on Instagram, on some other social media. So Prosecco turned out to be a better product than prosciutto, Parmesan cheese, and others. So they simply invested a lot in marketing, in promotion of Prosecco, for example. And but they never showed that they sprayed their vineyards. For example, even if they do it, they say it's just killing of pathogens, it's against the pesticides, etc., etc. They don't show that. For example, even the veterinarians, how to explain to them that nobody wants to see the blood of animals which they are going to eat. For example, if you provoke some positive emotions among the people, it's okay. Because there was a guy, veterinarian, who made a mistake. He sterilized 10 cats. He put them asleep, and then he did the intervention, and he made a film of that. He displayed it on social media. But who wants to see it? Nobody wanted to see it, so you could see a very negative comments. But sometimes it seems to us that the more scandalous video clips are, the more traction they get. Okay, it could be, but it's not for such kind of social media accounts. It's not good for people who want to promote their work. He or she should be very careful what they will showcase. You don't go into all details, into some animal surgeries, because it looks awful. People don't want to see such things on internet. You simply don't want to see all details. So not everything is for social media, not everything is to be filmed, but the nice side of our job or our products should be shown. This is what the buyer is interested in, not in a cesarean of a sheep or some blood surgical interventions, etc. How can we attract the confidence or gain the confidence of the buyers? If you want get a rotten tomato, for example, I will think twice whether to order the goods from the same producers, or I will never buy anything from the same producer. Confidence is a key on both sides. We started from very unenviable position, like children coming from the city, from urban areas. We wanted to introduce ourselves to the farmers and to explain to them that we would like to cooperate with them. So we gained the confidence of farmers because we visited them on a weekly basis, and we worked together with them to show them that we are serious, that we want to help them. That's how we gained initial confidence. But then later on, that network has developed. People, heard about us from mouth to mouth. The farmers recognized that. On the other side, we gained the confidence of the buyers, which is a bit tricky because the ultimate consumer or buyer pay the money for our platforms, and if something goes wrong, they blame us. Although if we are not responsible for rotten tomato, for example, and in such cases we usually apologize and we do our best not to repeat the same mistake. And on the other side, the education mentioned at the beginning is very important. But such things happen. Such things happen, and we are really doing our best to these chances reduced to the minimum. And we are also trying to gain the confidence in terms of origins of the products, and not only because of branding, but just to show that these are the domestic products, not, for example, the garlic imported from China, that it's our autochthonous garlic, etc. And that's how we are involved in products control. We invite people to visit our farms to see how many vegetables or fruits were grown, etc. Speaking about the origin, how can we explain to our younger generations how important it is to know the origin of some products, that it's very important? How to explain to them? If you allow me only to add, if we get some rotten tomatoes, for example, of some damaged goods, and we have to apologize, but it's a very awkward situation, for example, because it happens that we get something not directly from the producers, but through some dealers, and of course you blame the one who sold this to you. You're not interested in the initial producer, and in this case it is very important to know that there is a compensation system or apology system. Okay, we made a mistake, so you will get some discount for the next offer, because it's human to make mistakes. But this kind of apology or announcement is very strong. They will see that you are fair, and that you will admit your mistake and you are ready to take responsibility and to try to correct it. And then you decide whether you want to continue supporting their brand and production. Speaking about the young generations, recently what happened to me when I visited the supermarket, doing some daily shopping, I saw two boys with their mother arguing about how the oranges can be exposed to the sunlight before they get melted. And the older one, the boy, who presented some arguments and argued with his younger brother, and then he looked at the shells and oranges And when I came back, I realized it was a grapefruit. Those were not oranges. And then I started thinking that is it possible that our young people, young generations, simply don't know how some basic products, food products look like? That he can mix oranges for grapes, for example, in this modern time when internet and everything is available, but that's the lack of their interest and the lack of their knowledge, despite all new technologies, tablets, computers, etc., etc. But they are not interested in fruits or vegetables. If we try to promote this kind of things through some interactive content and make them start liking the agriculture, because in the future this kid will be some future student in the area of mechanization, distribution, and he will convey these values to his children, and children should be raised in some healthy environment, and they should know that milk comes from the cow, that these fruits are grown in our area, or some are imported from other countries. At least some basic things about the agriculture. Not to say that the chocolate is made of cow if milk comes from cow, for example. When we are talking about some podcasts, when I started my journalism education, the podcast didn't exist. These communication channels are being changed, especially young people don't look on TV, they don't read newspapers, for example, today. So the print media have become almost oblivious, but I'm really glad now to see that some podcasts are devoted to agriculture, and it makes me happy because most of them were kind of reserved for politics, show business, fashion, not for agriculture. That's true. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I don't know exactly when it started, but perhaps some more attractive social topics started to be showcased via podcasts. But we started our podcast 2 years and a half ago, and not many people knew anything about the podcast, that kind of format, or anything about agriculture. But then simply they wanted to hear somebody's stories, and so it's different from some TV shows. You work on TV and you know how it works, for example. That's one form to see something on TV, but podcast has a different gives a different chances to people to hear something the first hand from somebody on the ground. And so we, after 2 years and a half, we improved our podcast. We are still trying to improve many other podcasts about agriculture have emerged in the meantime, because we respect the healthy competition. We think it's very good because it can improve the general situation in our agrarian sector and agriculture. And podcast is a change of way of thinking among the farmers, an opportunity for them to network with the community, to join, to connect. It brings lots of new knowledges and lessons. And we think that among the farmers, such kind of communication has changed. changed many things for the better. Speaking about the competition, is it important for you to have more platforms like you have, and online shopping, do they improve or contribute to the agricultural sustainability? So when we think whether to buy online by various platforms, so we don't use our cars looking for parking lot, using gasoline, we avoid some crowded places. So online shopping has its advantages. So, but to what extent can it contribute to sustainability? A lot. Just briefly, it first shortens the supply chain, which is too long, because one tomato needs between 7 and 10 days to reach the final buyer, and you have several hubs on the road. Pre-packing, you use a lot of gases, there is a lot of waste, etc. So our goal is to shorten this way from the farmer to the ultimate buyer, and to shorten it up to a 24-hour period of time. And of course, it's very comfortable because people don't have to go to the supermarkets. Sustainability is very important, but I'm not quite sure to what extent it is recognized. It's still not a crucial element for making a decision how to buy. We are working on that, and we believe it will become a very important element, although it's not the case right now. But speaking about the competition, we really invite many people to get involved in such activities. Unfortunately, the nature of our work is such that it is not easy job. There are many factors, many subjective perceptions, and we cannot, as a company, affect it. But there is platforms. There are platforms who are very cooperative, who want to somehow connect urban and rural areas, etc., from the farm to the table, to shorten this road in our supply chain. Mr. Đaković, probably you can add a comment on sustainability. And okay, I will ask you later on another question, but first, can you tell me something about the sustainability in the context of our new technologies? They contribute to sustainability, but we start from the state, because the state doesn't do enough from its part. We have a lot of ministers who were changed, replaced, and many things changed. We don't have a very good system. 2 days ago, there was a program on Vojvodina TV when our farmer was awarded for turning the wool from his sheep for styrofoam. And he exported. He was awarded abroad, but nobody recognized him in his own country. And simply, it's not even known. We don't use his invention. He already developed a system how to turn wool into the styrofoam and to reduce the quantity of waste. And styrofoam is insulation material, construction material, and our farmers just dump it on some streams, rivers, And for example, if the sheep was sick, then it can contaminate the water, wolves, then our dogs, etc. So we do not have a controlled systems of waste treatment. Nothing is organized. We are not very smart in these things. And that's these are the people we want to approach. We know that we tell them, you know how to produce something, but we will help you how to sell it. Give me your price, and then don't worry about the rest. And that's how we can cooperate. When we learn how to respect each other, that everybody has his or her share in a price chain, we will be much better, because the farmers will have to sell their products via dealers online or on site. That's what I wanted to ask you when you contact, for example, a farmer. Sometimes they say, oh, please, I don't want to stand in front of camera, I don't want to go. But how important it is for marketing, for branding, to be present. As Goran saw this show on TV, then he retold it to somebody else. How important is this for marketing, branding, and for sale of such products? I would just like to add something to what Goran said. I disagree partly about the digitization. It's probably up to the state, because it doesn't help in everything. But let's leave it aside, because we have a fund for innovation of activities. We have a different projects like USAID projects and different funds. There are many possibilities, but not many can apply or can get that funds. Very small number, and maybe people don't have information. Was it easy to go through that procedure of application? No, it was very difficult to gather all documents, and the farmers simply don't know that. Speaking about digitization, the farmers, for example, do not want to be viral, to go on public. They usually say, what can I tell you about the agriculture? Ask the younger people. But I think that everybody has something to say. They should go out into public. If they see one successful example, one success story, then they may say, okay, I want also to have a successful farm one day, so he will invest additional efforts, etc., etc. And so the podcast's role is also to show something for people who can be identified with that success stories and to be additionally motivated to go viral and to become. Since we are coming to an end, before we give you the floor, an opportunity to ask a question. I'm glad to see young people among the audience, in the audience. So marketing, branding is something that you are interested in. I would like to draw a conclusion. What would be your message? How to make a compromise between marketing and agriculture? I mean, how to explain to the farmers that marketing is very important?
The message for the end is there will be more and more young farmers, meaning the ones who will introduce changes, and as many young educated farmers we have, they will accept more digital tools, and the time will show us that. What would be the conclusion of you as an expert in marketing and web part, digitalization? So how to reconcile the growers and the marketing? I would say that education is important. I will not add much. With a new wave of young people and new people who are ready, that apart from the new way of communication and the technologies are ready to educate themselves, and these are the things that can grow later on. There are people who start from the scratch, and it's difficult from someone who comes from the area without any farming background. But there are advanced technologies, there are various services that can help him. But I think that education is the key thing. Communication with farmers, understanding their needs, to sit at the table and work at equal pace with them, and to promote their activities, their product at the higher level. And it is possible only with direct communication. And people very often avoid that. They try in an indirect way to promote their products. If someone comes to my stand interested in my services, and that I have only a promoter there, and then I would be afraid that promoter would explain properly my services. If you want to sell something, you need to have a well-known team, and if you want to know the team, you have to have good communication. Mr. Pavlović, do you agree that such opportunities like fairs or panels are still good form of communication, a good way of marketing, and the way of becoming recognizable? Yes, I do. But in my opinion, events like this one are quite limited. I'm more for digital channels. I suppose that you would say that. But it is very wise to be at such events because you can meet people and exchange information. But when we speak about marketing, the focus should be on digital networks. When it comes to reconciliation between marketing and agriculture, my opinion is that understanding is the key, and expertise as well. So I remain with what I already mentioned. Expert should deal with both agriculture and marketing. So we from marketing understand very well why cucumber is bitter and what the tomato, a good tomato is. But on the other side, the farmers need to know why they need to present their products, their family, and but the best people, educated for that, should do that. In order to have the best people, we need to invest into them. And is it effective or it is payable to invest into marketing? Yes, it is, but you need to know to what extent you need to do that. Well, but money is not everything. You need to invest your time. A couple of days ago, I wanted to just overtake all my photos from Instagram, and in order to do that, it was 11,000 of photos. I didn't know how many photos I have that, and it is a value, and it well, it doesn't cost me much, to, for example, post 2 photos on a daily basis. For example, I have 2 photos from this event, and in a couple of years, there will be the reminder that I was here, and but I have to criticize Farmit. It wouldn't be bad if their growers were at this fair to explain to the others how it looks cooperating with FarmIt. So it's up to them to produce, but FarmIt does the rest for them. But farmers have to explain to other farmers, particularly the skeptical ones, that marketing is a good thing and they just have to release and to, as in the faith, well, just believe in God and that's it. Well, it is part of marketing strategy.
Ja ću se zahvaliti panelistima, ali pre nego što im se potpuno zahvalim, ima li pitanja iz publike? Hvala vam.
Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you. Panelists, thank you very much. Of course, if you have any idea if we can record someone, we can do that free of charge if you want to promote. I am the American. I'm paid by the Americans because Google does everything for me. Okay. Thank you once again, dear panelists. And of course, we will continue collaborating. Thank you very much.